Welcome to Words Unwritten, where we talk about how to create greater impact on your world and your work through communication and a rebellious mindset. I'm your host, Nino, writer, poet, copywriter, ghostwriter, and owner of The Writer's Rebellion. So, to all the artists, entrepreneurs, rebel writers, and changemakers, let's get into it. Today, I wanted to talk a bit about your book because you know what? You need to write it. and um and whether you are an aspiring thought leader or an entrepreneur or someone who's been through some things and want to share it with the world and help people, so I guess you would qualify as a change maker or a rebel writer, um or an artist. Either way, like, books are so powerful. When was the last time you read a book that changed your life? Because I don't know about you, but for me, that probably happens like once a month. I'm a big reader. I love books. I love them so much. Big nonfiction reader as well. And so I'm always reading new books that help shape my worldview a little bit. Whether that is one of my recent faves is the book Cultish, by Amanda something. I don't remember her last name. I'll put it in the show notes. Um, but it's just fantastic, fabulous book that shaped my idea of how we use language and how that language is so similar as a copywriter, predominantly like that. And somebody who's very big in the spiritual community. That book was really inspiring and thought provoking, right? In how I approach communicating, especially as a copywriter for a spiritual brand, in communicating in a way that is the most ethical. And it was very validating that I'm like, okay, cool, I'm doing a good job. And then also seeing the aspects of, why people look at a lot of spiritual things with a side eye, and so anyways, I'm getting off course. Sorry. ADHD squirrel. What I did want to say though was that your experiences, your expertise can give those same aha moments to your readers, to people, to the world in general, right? So whenever you are, say you're a coach, right? Because like this is a multi-layered thing. When you're writing a nonfiction book or a memoir or even a fiction book, honestly, um, what you communicate in there can shape somebody's total reality, right? As a coach, writing a book about your method, your the transformation people have had using this method and how it can help the reader, because like buying a $20 book is a lot easier than buying a $2,000 course or whatever. And it also gives the reader a taste of what that $2,000 course does, right? So it gives them so much value that they can take with them if they cannot afford or are able to do anything else with it, right? But for those who are able to, or when they are able to, go for our coaching program, they're going to think of your coaching program because your book made such a difference. Imagine what a whole coaching program targeted for their needs by you will do for them, right? And so that's why we often see business owners writing their own nonfiction books, their own self-help or personal development or whatever, right? Because it also feeds directly into their business. It also is like your calling card for your thought leadership, right? So if you want to do more speaking gigs, if you want to do more podcasts, if you want to do more workshops and, things like that, there's so much that you can do and use your book as the ticket into it, right? There's a lot of speaking gigs that you can't get unless you have a book. And so, and a lot of these speaking gigs are, hugely impactful for people in multiple ways, whether that be the impact that you create within the speech itself for the people who are listening to it, or whether that be people who want to invest in your company, people who want to take your program, people who want to have you on their podcast. Like, there's so much that can come of doing a speaking gig, right? And you can get to those speaking gigs through your book. Um, and you don't have to sell that many. Like, I don't think actually you need to sell any books in order to get speaking gigs. You just have to have a book for some of these speaking gigs. Not all of them, of course, but a lot of them. And so it can create so much impact for your business, for your branding, for the impact that you want to have on the world, because this book is going to be out here long after you're not, like this book is part of your legacy, right? And then for people who just want to create impact, and you have a story to tell, you have a memoir of something, that maybe it can fit within your personal branding and expand your personal branding some more. Like, for example, if you're a social media influencer, right? Having that book and having, bringing in more fans through that book, and helping more of your current fans through that memoir of yours can help to bring in more of these, more eyes, more deals, more different types of gigs and stuff like that, and also launch you into thought leadership somewhere and stuff. It all feeds within that ecosystem and stuff. And I just think about, like, it's so books are so powerful. If books weren't this powerful, like if books were not powerful, they would not be trying to ban them, because, like, I think, Fahrenheit 451 is one of my favorites and stuff. And that always got me really thinking about, like, any government who is afraid of people learning and growing is a government to be watched, right? And because whenever we start limiting information, we start really trying to control that narrative even more. And I think we're in a time in history where we can see that a lot, and a lot of people are more aware of what book bans really do. And yeah, it's just, your books are so powerful. But anyways, thank you so much for listening. Please like, subscribe, follow, review, do all the things. Your support is life-giving. Most importantly, remember that your words are powerful. So go out there, make some magic, and start a revolution.